salutations, greetings, and all that other stuff. This is YNB Collins. I'm joined with
Brother Wolf here.
We're the Benchmark Podcast. We try to use life experience, critical thinking, put them together, mishmash something, and hopefully have a good, if not better, result on the other side. Fair?
That is correct. Season 4, season of healing.
Well, I got some words to say that might help with my healing. I've worked in retail for a chunk of my life, and then I went to bartending, and I've been bartending for a little while now. And if you've ever worked with a till, you know that there are slots for different things. There's a slot for the pennies, a slot for the nickels, or depending on your nationality, or your currency. You know what I mean? Everybody's be different. We're talking about the U.S. right now. So as a bartender, we usually deal with a lot of cash. So, we have a spot for the ones, we got a spot for the fives, the 10s, the 20s. And I'm asking you because I'm curious about your store policy. What is your store policy for 50s and 100s?
Under the till.
Why? So me and my other bartender were closing up, and the till was short $200. And we couldn't find it. We looked up, we looked down, we checked our pockets, we checked underneath the bar, we checked under the floor mats. One fish, two fish, blue fish, red fish, who fish, no fish, you fish. We're losing our minds because I could take being $20 off.
Right.
200?
Right.
What's wrong? So we're just like, look, man, we had to have done something wrong with the math. And after you see something so many times, there's nothing you can do about it, right? Mm-hmm. Well, we go ahead and we go under the till to pick up the previous bartender's tickets. And in the tabs is two $100 bills. What I want to know is, at this point in time, why are people not putting it in the other damn slot that they have for the hundreds? Because if you're getting robbed, somebody's just taking the whole till anyway. Nobody doesn't not know that trick of hiding it under the till.
Well, I think the primary reason why we were taught to hide it under the till is because then it's difficult for people are normally opportunity robbers. So what happens is, if they see a good opportunity, then they start going towards nefarious deeds.
I can accept that, but my concern is that for a bar, you have to go even hop it or go around and to the bar.
Right. It's different than actual retail. I get it. I get it.
But same with retail. You have to go ahead and get to the back and get to the register. And like I said,
I've seen them reach over. Oh, I've seen them reach over.
Okay.
I've seen them reach over. Yeah.
Well, I mean, we just patronized a fast food establishment, and the register is out of reach.
Oh,
they had the glass, and it was behind the door.
Yeah.
And so I see more often than not, you can't get to the register unless you're already on that track.
Right, but I have seen an opportunity theft happen, whereas a young lady was but she had a problem with her drawer. It wouldn't close properly, and so what wound up happening was, we could literally see on camera, me and the asset protection guy, the guy that she had in front of her had left. The new guy had walked up, and she was lifting the drawer, trying to fix the drawer, trying to get it to go all the way into the thing. And she kept lifting the drawer, and the guy in front of her was looking, and he was staring, and you can see in his head the calculations were going, and he was thinking, and he was thinking, and he was thinking. And finally, before she could get the drawer fixed all the way and get it set in, he goes over and he grabs the whatever's in the till that he can grab from the top part. He hurries up, grabs it. Of course, she darts off. She runs off, of course, the moment in which she starts grabbing. But that was a perfect example of why we put it underneath, is because if a person is trying to hurry up and grab whatever's on top of the till, and they're trying to go fast, do that, they'll miss some part of it. But yeah, I get what you're saying. Normally, in sometimes Sometimes it is empty, but normally that slot on the last part, because I know what you're saying. There's a slot, a 5 slot, a 10 slot, a 20 slot, and then there's that other slot over to the side. The problem is normally that slot is occupied by change. Your quarter rolls, your nickel rolls, your dime rolls, your penny rolls. That's normally in that slot. It won't be in the other slot off to the backside, because it will jam up the drawer when it's trying to open.
Yeah, no, I get that.
to-
And I guess I have to go ahead and also say thank you because I'm a little bit blessed because my bar, everything is a dollar amount. We don't do change. The tax is already included into it.
That is a blessing.
Yeah, so I don't have to go 473. You get 20, 30, what is 20? No. You give me a 5 for a $4 drink. I bring you your beverage, and I bring you your dollar, and hopefully you're a tipper, and like the dollar's mine.
Most likely they'll just give you it in. I mean, if you ever wind up, y'all really, because of the nature of the beast and it being a bar, y'all don't deal a lot with. If it's a tax situation, then most likely it's probably taxed up to the next dollar or something like that almost. So
we've already figured all that out to make it easy. So let's say a popular drink down here, an Abita Amber, right? At our bar it costs $5. Probably the retail is about $4.40, $4.50. Boom. Right. No, we're not doing that. $5 for it. You know what I mean?
There you go.
And just make it that easy, so that way it's already included in the price. You don't have to think about it, and make it easy. And that's why I thought it's a wonderful system that we have.
It is. It's a shame.
You don't have to worry about change. Like,
yeah.
If you've ever been in any sort of retail opportunity where you have to go make change, and you got to have so many ones, so many 5s, maybe some 10s, but then you got to do coins as well. That's crazy. So I'm like, okay, cool. You have the slot for it. And like I said, once we finish our receipts, our tickets, we put them underneath the coin till because we don't have a need for the coin till.
Right.
In the coin till is office supplies, rubber bands, binder clips, paper clips, and lost IDs and debit cards. You know what I mean? It's a perfect system. So all you have to do is lift up the change till, put the tickets in there, and not put 100 and then mix it in with the other closed tabs.
Yeah.
That's fucking stupid. And that's why I was like, and when I tell you, the reason I'm frustrated is twofold. Number one, I understand your point of opportunity theft, but if you're the way our bar is situated, unless you have Mr. Fantastic arms, you weren't reaching my damn bar. You have to jump the bar.
Right.
So that's number one. And number two, we're looking all over. We're left, we're right. We can't figure this out because, and this is a failure on my part, to think somebody would go ahead and do like I do.
Right.
I'm pissed because what? I lost 20 minutes of my life because they didn't go ahead and put it in the right spot.
You know what I'm thinking about is was this bartender that was working there that night, were they a bartender that normally bartends, or was this something that they're kind of new to bartending and they came from a retail background? I'm just curious.
Over 5 years at this place. You see that face right there? That one of those he knows better? I know. That's why I'm so pissed. Like I said, I understand there's a thing for opportunity theft, but number one, if you have that big of a problem, you need to go ahead and take the till away and make sure it's not reachable by anybody but yourself, and then do it, say, call for a manager, call for assistance, whatever you need to do.
Right.
And that's why I'm like, no, there's no worldly excuse for that. And I know, like I said, I'm working at a bar, I'm working in service, you're working in retail. I would love to hear what Rev Ross has to say. I would love that one, because that'd just be hilarious. He'd be like, oh yeah, that's corporate policy, but this is one of those times where I believe most people go ahead and look the other way and say, no, don't wait. Because if they snatch in the tail, they snatch in the tail and they're gone. They're running. You know what I mean? And if I'm going to go ahead and go to jail for snatching this, I'm going to spend that extra second and lift up the till and snatch whatever's under there as well. At least that's my estimation as a non-criminal.
And here's the thing. You're thinking with more intellect than most criminals have. I'm just telling you, this is the problem. You're thinking with more intellect than what most criminals have. Most criminals are like, I'm gonna get in, get out, do it as quick as I can, and get going. And
What
then
are you,
they-
heat?
They are.
Whatever I can't hold on to 60 seconds.
Yeah, and so that's the whole thing is they more often than not, you know, when a criminal grabs money out of a register, I happen to know this, more often than not, they're grabbing like maybe less than 200 most of the time, because they're not thinking, oh well, I'll go ahead and I'll go under the drawer, or they're not thinking, well, I'll go ahead and I'll get them to open the other drawer, like I'll point a gun at them and then get them to open the other drawer or something like that, or threaten them and they'll open the other drawer. No, they're in, out. That's what they are, and they're not worried about the fact of the future income loss that they're running into, because once they make that decision, they're going to eventually get caught, and then now they are only pigeonholed into certain jobs because they can't get anything else, because now they have that on their background.
Yeah.
And so they're not, like I said, you're thinking with more intellect than most of those I will say petty thieves that they use.
Fair, and like this is why I wanted to make sure I wasn't missing something, because it literally happened last night. I was so frustrated.
Right.
I was like, this. Excuse me, not last night, the night before last. But the point being is, it's one of those. In your case, in retail, that makes sense. I have no problem with that.
Right. But in your
ours,
case, it doesn't.
It doesn't.
It doesn't.
And that's why I want to make sure in other places. So we've worked at a few retail places. There was one place we worked at together. I never put the stuff under the till.
Oh.
I never did. Never did.
I mean, most of the time, I was taught to put it under the till at most of the retail places in which I work. That's the reason why I do it. Now, you know, a place that it wouldn't go under the till was Harris. And the reason why is because at the casino, when I worked at the casino, it would not go under the till because of the simple fact that we didn't deal with change. So that's why we went ahead and did that other spot. You know, we still wound up having to put, but we put 50s there, but we still wind up having to put hundreds under the till.
That's crazy to me. That's just one of those where I guess my concern is if for opportunity thieves, kind of, sort of, but I've known at least 5 people who worked in the casino, and when it comes to a casino, the cameras are on you.
Oh yeah,
They're watching for
they're watching everything. A camera. There used to be an old saying in the casino, whereas everywhere you're at, there's a camera. There's at least 2 cameras watching, one from one from a different angle, in order to go ahead and catch it.
Probably make a better call than some NFL refs.
Definitely. But yeah, that would, like you said, if they've been a bartender there for 5 years, come on, man. Like you know your team at that point. You know, you know everybody and how they work as a team, and so you would know not to put it under there because you would know.
But I had another bartender that this happened with, where we have an extra pouch that has backup change in case we need it. You know what I mean? Because sometimes the nights are too busy, too many people breaking 20s before we do anything. That's normally where at the end of the night you put all your tickets, all your money, seal it all in that, and you're good to go. And then you drop safe it. You know what I mean? So that way you can't lose money or whatever, and it's just bundled up. It's in the pouch. So once you drop the pouch, it's all safe. That makes sense, right?
Right.
Tell me why this simple, no good, low down in this town went ahead and before they got off shift, put the tickets in the bag, which I get because they're leaving, but also had just some tins in there randomly. That
is so weird.
I wish y'all were here to see my brother's face. He got that. Who let one out face? It hurts because there's no reason people should be this inane. There's other words I want to use, but it's one of those. Come on, man. So the point I'm getting at is things have a place for a reason.
Right.
So put him in his place so that way it's easy to go. And like I said, even if we did agree that the bill should be under the till, don't mix them up in the tabs.
No.
Because what would have happened if they would have been perfectly bound? I wouldn't have seen them because the tickets are bigger than a bill. So I wouldn't have thought that, oh, they should be under this. I would be like, they should be on top of the tabs or at the bottom of the tabs. But that's why you don't do it that way. Whatever. I'm done fussing. You got anything else you want to add, brother?
No, brother, that literally sounds like closing time to me.
So yeah, y'all, that's one of those. Make things easier for yourself and your coworkers. You know what I mean? Everybody wants to go home without having an aneurysm.
Follow the team, read the room. There you go.
Later, y'all. This is YNB Collins, and I'm joined with
Brother Wolf.
We Were the Benchmark Podcast. Hopefully, y'all learned something. If not, I did. That's a damn sure. Thank you for listening to the Benchmark Podcast, a product of Benchmark Media, LLC. We would like to remind our listeners that the views and opinions expressed are strictly the views and opinions of each individual and does not reflect the stance of Benchmark Media. Any opinion stated is not to be construed as professional advice or help. Our intro and outro
But
music
thankfully, we all
is
wearing
Acid
pants.
Trumpet by Kevin MacLeod, licensed under
Yes.
Creative Commons. Contact us at therealbenchmarkpodcast@gmail.com.
Thank you, Kevin.
Or our website, www.therealbenchmarkpodcast.com.
Yes.
Donate to us, paypal.me/benchmarkmediallc,
Please.
or the Cash App, $TheRealBenchmark. Thank you very much.
Okay, you can buy him a drink on this one.
Just this one?